welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Becca and today I have my October TBR. So some of you may know I've been slumping quite hard in September. It has not been a good reading month. As of yet, I have read one book in September, and because of this I'm going to give myself a lot more leeway in my October TBR because I'm not really sure when this slump is really going to end, and I have a lot of books that I really need to prioritize for October. My slump is down to a lot of things. The first one is that I was reading a book that I do enjoy, but I had read it before and so there was nothing really compelling me to continue. I've also had a lot of priority reads that have come up. I also took part in Contemporary-a-thon, so a lot of things have really just helped me with this slump. Also, The Shadow of the Tomb Raider was released and I've been playing a lot of that, and then before that I started playing World of Warcraft and I was playing a lot of that. There's a lot of stuff that's just made me really slumpy. Because of that, and because I'm not putting a lot on my TBR, I am going to do a currently reading section in this video as well, because there's a lot of books I started at the beginning of the month that I still haven't finished that I've had to put aside to read Muse of Nightmares, which I received as an ARC, and oh my god, that's so exciting. So things have been pushed aside for other things, so I'll go through what I'm currently in the middle of. So first up, all of these books that are in my September TBR are going to be on my October TBR. So we have Tower of Dawn, Forever by Maggie Stiefvater, Stealing Snow by Danielle Page, Here at the Fall by Alwyn Hamilton, The Last Namsara by Kristen Cicerelli, Catwoman by Sarah J Maas, Fury Born by Claire Legrand, and Lifelike by J Kristoff. So if you want to know what any of these books are about, I will put a link in the cards up above to my September TBR where I talked all about them. I haven't actually read a lot of my September TBR, which is why all of these are still here. So yeah, you can go check out the synopsis for these over there. So aside from that, there are actually only 2 books on my TBR, and the first one is a reread. And that one is Saga Volume 8 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. The 9th volume of Saga is out on the 2nd of October. So I want to read that, but it's been a couple of months since I've finished off the published volumes in this series. So I'm going to reread number 8. So I have all the details fresh in my mind. As it's a graphic novel, it shouldn't take me very long, which is why I'm quite happy to reread it. It'll take me like an hour and a half. And for those of you that don't know, this series is about a couple from 2 different planets who come together and make a baby, and the governments of their planets don't think they should be together because the planets are at war, and it sends a good message to the people, but not the message the government wants to be sent. And so they send a lot of mercenaries after them. All the mercenaries are dealing with their own stuff and you follow those as well. And it's a really fun, really emotional series. The other book is a book I have from the library that will have to go back in October, and that is The Poppy War by R.F. Kong. This is a grimdark fantasy that is based on a historical event and set in a fantasy world, I believe. That's what I've been told by you guys in the comments. And this follows the rape of Nanking or Nanjing. I believe it has 2 different names, and that was essentially when the Japanese soldiers came to China and massacred and raped the entire population of a town or village. I've heard that this is very dark, a lot of trigger warnings for rape, murder, graphic violence, but I've also heard that it's amazing and everybody loves it, so I'm really excited to give it a try. So by the time you're watching this, I may have started The Poppy War, and that may be in my currently reading, but as of now I have 2 books I'm currently reading and have been since the beginning of the month. The first one of these is a book that I mentioned as being a reread that I do enjoy, but it's not really compelling me to continue, and that is Empire of Storms by Sarah J Maas. I pursued this before I decided to give up and try and pick up another book for over 2 weeks, and I read a total of 285 pages of 700. So I'm not doing very well. The only problem I have now is that I have to read this in October, and I have to read Tower of Dawn because the last book, Kingdom of Ash, is one of my most anticipated releases of the year, and that is out on the 23rd of October. So this and Tower of Dawn both need to be read by then. Like I said, I do really love this book. It's my favourite in the series. It's just with Sarah J Maas books, when I've read them before, they take me a lot longer to read again. And combined with all the other stuff I had going on, the games that I was really excited to play, I just wasn't wanting to read something I'd already read before when I could be doing other stuff that I was really into at the time. The other book I'm currently reading is a book that I picked up to try and get me out of that slump, and I currently have it out from the library, and that is The Sea Witch by Sarah Henning. I'm 117 pages into this, and to be fair, it is a pretty standard young adult fantasy. The writing isn't anything special, the plot so far isn't anything special, and the good thing about it is that it is really easy to read. However, when I was reading this, Muse of Nightmares arrived in the post, and so I dropped it to carry on with that. So I do need to pick this back up and finish it in October. This is an origin story about the sea witch from Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid, who I believe in the Disney version must be Ursula. But it is essentially about two girls, one of which dies, and a boy who is a prince, and the girl who is still alive and the boy who is a prince are best friends. The boy falls into the sea and a mermaid rescues him, who bears an uncanny resemblance to their dead friend. So yeah, that's the plot of that one essentially. It's nothing too original and nothing too exciting. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of lackluster. I don't have anything necessarily bad to say about it, but also nothing really good. So I'm working on this one as well. So that is about all for my TBR video. I know this is very strange. I normally have a lot of books on my TBR that I'm excited to read, but essentially all of the books that I still have to read are left over from my September TBR. So I don't really have anything to add, because those books are still all my priorities. Please let me know if you guys have any tips to get out of a slump. I mean, I am doing okay. Muse of Nightmares is really like pulling me through this. But it's weird because when I slump, I normally just persevere, and it might take me 2 weeks to read a book, but I'm still reading 20 to 30 pages a day until I get through it. Then normally when I finish that one book, I'm fine and I'm off speed reading again. But I did read 22 books, I think, across July and August. So I had 2 really good reading months, and I think that that has contributed to this because I burnt myself out. But if you guys have any tips, then please leave them in the comment box below, and please don't forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you want to. If you head into my description box, you'll find a link to my Goodreads, Instagram and Twitter if you'd like to follow me on any of those, and also a link to my Bookish body butter and candle website, the Instagram for that, and a 10% off discount code. But that's it from me today. Bye!
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you will go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.